And good morning, everyone. We're going to give a few more minutes for more people to join us. And it's so nice to have you all here with us. We're going to go over some announcements that we go over every week, just a refresher on what Psanctuary is, who we are, and how the service is going to work this morning. So thank you for joining us. We're going to give about 5 more minutes. Some logistical notes. We ask that you mute your mics if they are not already muted. We want to let you know this meeting is being recorded, which if you have any questions about, feel free to reach out privately. A portion of this service, we will invite you to journal. So now is a good time to grab a notebook and pen if you'd like to participate in that. Please do, if possible for you, find a comfortable space where you can relax and be present for today's service. And while we wait for others, I'm excited to kind of go over a little refresher on Psanctuary. We are a 508c1a faith-based organization. We use psilocybin mushrooms as a sacrament to connect us to divinity. And if you, like many others throughout history, hold these sacraments in sincere spiritual practice, you can head over to our membership page at psanctuary.org. Becoming a member is a 5-step process, which includes a discovery call with me. After becoming a member, you'll gain access to our membership portal, member resource area, where you can find member-only events, including sacrament opportunities, and our members-only Telegram chat, which I highly encourage for all of our members to connect throughout the week. Please do consider donating to Psanctuary. All donations currently go toward operational expenses, which includes helping us with securing a location for in-person Sunday services and group sacrament services. We have a great vision here at Psanctuary, which includes a community built on sustainability through permaculture and more accessible and frequent opportunities for services with our sacrament for members. For cash donations, please see the link we will drop in the chat area here. And for ideas around in-kind donations, please reach out to us via email. This Sunday services are a place where we gather together as a currently medium-sized group, but growing community. Although we do not partake in the sacrament during these services, we find together in our recognition that the mushroom has brought us together. And for more information on sacramental services currently available, you can reach out to me at info@psanctuary.org. And also our website has a bit more information and details up now. The service portion of our gathering is around 30 minutes of silent participation on your part. Courtney and I will be facilitating the service today, and Eric will be leading our optional discussion afterwards, which will allow about an hour and a half for until noon. And we do invite you to participate if you feel called to. It's a very great place to connect with each other. We have 2 readings every Sunday. We will be moving through different texts throughout our time together. We will consistently read from the Tao Te Ching. This is our main text, and we are currently rotating the game of life and how to play it. We chose these readings because we feel that they communicate the message we often received from our time spent with the mushroom, but in different ways. And we'll also read from a poem, a Litany of Gratitude, is read to acknowledge our oneness with all that is. So with that being said, I invite you again to find that comfy space, and we will begin our service. So again, thank you for joining our community today and celebration. As we begin our statement of faith, we recognize that this statement does not exhaust the full extent of our faith. We believe that sacred mushrooms are the primary source for personal and divine revelation. We seek counsel from the mushroom to find direction and inspiration in our faith practice, and we believe that all individuals individuals who seek true revelation from divinity can do so. And I invite Courtney.
Thank you, Athena. Hi, everyone. Going to be leading a meditation today that I call the positive aspects meditation. So I invite you now to get extra comfortable. You may want to adjust your position, even though we're only going to be here in this meditation for about 5 minutes or so. A little wiggling and settle in. Take some deep breaths to come into your center, in through your nose, out through your mouth. I also like to place one hand on my heart and the other hand on my belly. Kind of helps with tuning in and getting centered. Continue to breathe as we move through this meditation morning. I invite you now to do this meditation using you as the subject, generating positive aspects about yourself. But you can, if you want, play around with generating positive aspects of someone else as well, or someone in your community if you feel that that's more relevant for you this morning. And yourself and anything that you're feeling within you to relax and allow yourself to sink into this meditation. Connect with a space of honest appreciation of something that you are feeling genuine gratitude for. This could be something about your body, your mind, the way you did something recently. Sometimes it's helpful to start simple, like appreciate the time I've taken to show up for this call today. Or I feel gratitude for my brain's ability to create new thoughts right now. Just allow this process to unfold with new thoughts coming. You feel inspired. This meditation tends to gain somewhat of a natural momentum. So you may find yourself eagerly sharing with thoughts of appreciation flowing to you easily. Or you may feel that these is fluid, and that's okay too. Take your time to breathe, be with yourself, and continue when you feel inspired by another positive of yourself. As you practice this meditation, contrasting thoughts may arise. Continually allow those thoughts to relax and just choose to reorient on thoughts of gratitude and appreciation. This is a meditation you can do at any time during the day, especially early on, right now, before you have much momentum going. Meditation you can do when you're feeling resistant to reaching out to someone you care about or reaching out to your community. Oftentimes, focusing on what we're grateful for within ourselves can help us connect with other people and our world. A few more deep breaths. Coming back into your center. Thank yourself for taking the time to cultivate this special space this morning with our sanctuary community. With your next breath, start to wiggle your fingers and toes. Come back into service space, opening your eyes whenever you're ready. All right, nice everyone, thank you. I invite Lynn to read the Game of Life reading this morning.
Morning. Chapter 6, Casting the Burden. When an individual understands their own power and the workings of their mind, their great desire is to find an easy and effective way to impress the subconscious with good. An intellectual knowledge of the truth will not bring results. In doing this, one can overcome the world of vibration and function in the fourth dimensional realm, where there is only perfection, completion, life, and joy. We are told in the 55th Psalm to cast thy burden upon the Lord. Many passages state that the battle is God's, not man's, and that man is always to stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. This indicates that the superconscious mind is the department which fights our battles and relieves our burdens. It is a violation of divine law to carry a burden. A burden is an adverse thought or condition. This thought or condition has its root in the subconscious. It seems almost impossible to make any headway directing the subconscious from the conscious, as the conscious mind is limited in its conceptions and filled with doubts and fears. We are to, therefore, cast our burden upon the superconscious mind, or Christ within, where it is made light or dissolved into its native nothingness. The belief in lack is a burden and is to be cast upon the superconscious with its belief of plenty. An avalanche of supply will be the result. I knew a woman whose burden was resentment. She said, I cast this burden of resentment on the Christ within, and I go free to be loving, harmonious, and happy. The superconscious flooded her subconscious with love, and her whole life was changed. For years, resentment had held her in a state of torment and imprisoned her subconscious mind. The statement should be made over and over and over, sometimes for hours at a time, silently or audibly, with quietness but determination. I have noticed in casting the burden that after a while one seems to see clearly. It is impossible to have clear vision while in the throes of carnal mind. Doubts and fear poison the mind and body, and imagination runs riot, attracting disaster and disease. In steadily repeating the affirmation, I cast this burden on the Christ within and go free, the vision clears, and with it a feeling of relief, and sooner or later comes the manifestation of good in the forms of health, happiness, and supply. One of my students once asked me to explain the darkness before the dawn. I referred in a preceding chapter to the fact that often, before the big demonstration, everything seems to go wrong, and deep depression clouds the consciousness. It means that out of the subconscious are rising the doubts and fears, These old derelicts of the subconscious rise to the surface to be put out. The student continued, "How long must one remain in the dark?" I replied, "Until one can see in the dark, and casting the burden enables one to see in the dark."
Thanks, Lynn. We'll now do our Litany of Gratitude. And I invite you to unmute your mic and join me in saying, "We live in all things live in." Give everyone just a moment. We live by the sun, we feel by the moon, we move by the stars. We live in all things,
All things,
All things live
all
in us.
things live in us.
we eat from the earth, we drink from the rain, we breathe of the air. We live in all things,
All things,
All
things.
live in us.
We call to each other, we listen to each other, our hearts deepen with love and compassion. We live in all things,
All things,
live in us.
live in us.
we depend on the trees and animals, we depend on the earth. Our minds open with wisdom and insight. We live in all things,
All things,
All
things.
all things live in us.
We dedicate our practice to others. We include all forms of life. We celebrate the joy of living and dying. We live in all
Live in
things, all things.
All things live
live in us.
We are full of life. We are full of death. We are grateful for all beings and companions. Thank you, everyone. If you'd mute your mics back. And I invite Susan to do our next reading.
Chapter 32. Tao is always nameless, small as it is in its primal simplicity. It is inferior to nothing in the world. If only a ruler could cling to it, everything will render homage to him. Heaven and earth will be harmonized and send down sweet dew. Peace and order will reign among the people without any command from above. When once the primal simplicity diversified, different names appeared. Are there not enough names now? Is it not the time to stop? To know when to stop is to preserve ourselves from danger. The Tao is to the world what a great river or an ocean is to the streams and brooks.
Thank you. So we will take the next 5 minutes to reflect on our readings today. And now is a good time if you have that journal nearby or your mind's eye. We have some prompts. So take these 5 minutes to reflect on burdens that you may be carrying unnecessarily. Practice this technique of casting your burden on the superconscious. This is just one more method of what the mushrooms so often tell us to do. Just let go. Perhaps it is jealousy, anxiety, addiction, self-pity, or some other negative emotion. Take note of how you feel in your body and mind as you are able to release these burdens. If you have time, consider what Ching means in her metaphor of seeing in the dark. We'll set that timer for us now. Great. If you'd like to round out your thoughts. And it is with great pleasure that we recognize our community has come together with intentions of service to the land and all its inhabitants. It is in our hearts to go forth into the world with the collective consciousness. And we encourage everyone to stay for continued fellowship and conversation around our readings today. For those unable to stay, we thank you for being with us. As we further our conversation, please remember all perspectives are welcome, and as we search for the spiritual truth that unites us all. We do have some announcements today. Our next mindfulness session with Katrine is the day at 12 p.m. These are 30-minute sessions that are just really nice to get grounded throughout the week, especially with the holidays. So I invite everyone to join us there. You can find the Zoom link in your member resource portal. We will be hosting another subtle sacrament gathering here in Louisville. This time a silent disco, which is first for us and very exciting. And more information on that can be found in the newsletter that was sent out earlier this week, and again in your member portal. If you're not a member, and I can help you with that. We do have another sacrament retreat coming up in January, the 21st through the 26th. This is a really great opportunity to do a deep dive with the mushroom with some support and help from our clerics. You can access this recording every Sunday in your member resource area, along with the slides and the we've been reading from. So if you want to revisit the week, or if for some reason you're unable to make it on a Sunday, these are posted in your member resource area for you to access. I will be in Florida coming up, and I am working on a gathering of like-minded people in the St. Pete area. So if you are down there and would like to meet up with myself and Justice, Forrest, he'll be there. We will be just kind of getting together at a market. So if you're interested and you're in Florida this Saturday coming up, let me know, and I'd love to meet up with you guys. And again, just a reminder, if you're able to, donations go toward all of our operations and making these Sunday services happen each week. So with that, I will end our recording